Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. I was riding to church with my granddaughter, and because I had gotten tired of listening to the soundtrack of Pete the Cat, yes, there's a soundtrack, please, Lord, help me. I decided to turn on some children's books so she could listen to books on tape as we rode. We first started with one, Disney movie that was truncated into a story. And then there was another, and then it started going into other children's stories, movies and stories and things that most of us have grown up with. And surely my children grew up with Lion King and all these others. And I noticed that even when these stories were better about gender roles, they all had the same thing in common, which is the same thing that we have in common with most of our stories outside of the Bible. Um, we have to have an enemy. And this became apparent because my granddaughter was saying things like, Scar will never change, will he, Googie? And I was like, well, he can change. She's like, he can't change. Even God can't change Scar, right, Googie? And I was like, well, no, God can change Scar. God can. And then she get to another story with a villain. He won't change, will he, Googie? Yeah, he can change. I said, listen, God can change anybody. And if you want to change, you can be changed. Anybody can change. And so she was like sitting back there thinking about it. And then I had to think about it. And then I'm realizing, yeah, I've grown up with this idea that I need a protagonist. And not an evolving protagonist, but one that remains the evil character, the villain, the thing that I have to fight against for the rest of my life. We all need the evil character in our lives, in our stories, in our existence. Boy, that was like the longest ride in my life because I started pondering this and this notion, like my granddaughter is 6, and somehow she had come to believe that there were characters or people or things that could not change, and even God could not change them. This has permeated our culture, our existence, our being. There's no room for growth. There's no room for evolution. There's no room for change. And when you run out of villains, you're forced to look at yourself. You're forced to look at how sticky the self is. The self is social. We are a product and byproduct of everything and everyone we've ever come in contact with. I tell my children, you've got to forgive. If not, you become the thing you won't let go of. I love you, and I hope this gives you a lot to ponder.